Hello and welcome to the simple yet powerful world of Microsoft Dynamics AX 2012. With tools like the System Center Monitoring Pack for Dynamics AX 2012, you can easily monitor your entire AX 2012 system to ensure good performance and availability for your end users. Although this monitoring pack comes with some pre-configured rules and monitors, you can customize the monitoring pack to suit your business needs. In this video, I will walk you through a few steps, starting with how to create a management pack for customizations, and will also show you how to modify some existing monitors and add a new alert generating rule and a task within the System Center Operations Manager console. Let's start with creating a management pack for your customizations. Select Administration and click on the Management Packs node on the left-hand side tree. On the right-hand side action pane, click Create Management Pack. Select a name for your management pack. So I've called it Management Pack for Customizations and add an optional description. Click Next. Add some help or knowledge for it. I'm just going to skip that part. And let's get that management pack created. Now that you have created a management pack that will hold all of your customizations, let's start with the first example. Select the monitoring pane and click on the Environment Health node on the left-hand tree. Go to the diagram view and drill down into one of your AOSs for this example. So I'm going to select one of the client AOSs. So let's take, for example, that you have two client AOSs in a cluster, of which the second AOS, which is the one I have selected, is only being used for RPC connections, and there are no service calls being made to that AOS. As an administrator, if you do not want any monitoring for the service ports, you can actually turn some of these monitors off, and I'm going to show you how. You can right-click, go to Health Explorer, and expand the subnodes to list all of the monitors that you have available. In this case, I've got 4 monitors. To override them, right-click and go to the Monitor Properties. Click on the Overrides tab, and go to the Override button. In this example, you only want to disable this monitor for this one specific AOS. So select the first option. So what you need to do is choose to override the enabled property and change it from true to false. Also, make sure that you've changed the destination of this override to the monitoring pack that you created in the first step. So I will select Management Pack for Customizations and hit Apply. Now it's as simple as that. You have just disabled this monitor. Let me show you another way to do the exact same thing, because the SCOM console makes it very easy for you to disable an existing monitor. So let me select the second monitor. Follow the same steps. I'm going to click Monitor Properties, click on Overrides, and instead of clicking the Override button, I'm going to click the Disable button. So I click Disable, and I select for this specific AOS. And I say yes. So it's very easy for you to disable a monitor just using this one button. But if there are additional properties that you want to override, such as timeout limits, then you might want to go into the Override button. What I will do now is I will pause this video and I'll complete the same sequence of steps for the remaining 2 monitors, because in this example, I want to disable all 4 monitors for the NetTCP port. So now that I have disabled all of these monitors, you will now see that this status indicates that these monitors are not active. So before you would have seen a little check mark here, a green check mark, and now you no longer see it. One thing that you might want to note is if you follow the steps to just click the disable button you will not have the opportunity to specify which management pack this override will go into. It will go into the default management pack. So if you're very specific about, I want all of my customizations to go into my own management pack, then you might want to go the longer route, click the overrides button and select the override option. So this is one example that I wanted to show you. And now you will see that before you had all three of these nodes marked with a little green check mark, and this one is no longer marked, which means there are no monitors for this one perspective. I'm going to close all of these screens, and we're going to go to the monitoring pane of the main System Center screen. Select the Batch Framework Health. The tasks that you see on the right-hand side give the administrator the flexibility within the SCORM console to query AX for the status of certain kinds of jobs, like the ones that were canceled, failed, or they're either running or waiting. Now let's pick one of these tasks to see what kind of information we get back. So I have selected the view failed batch jobs, so I can see which of my batch jobs have failed. So in this example, there are around 5 jobs that have failed. But the problem with this is I can only see the IDs and the actual start and end times, but I don't have additional information that I might need, like job description. As an administrator, I might want to just launch the AX client and look at the batch jobs form so I can get a full view of which jobs these were. So an easy way for me to get this done is maybe add a link in here to launch the AX32 client in the context of the batch jobs form. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do. So the first step in launching the AX32 client to open a very specific form is to create an XML file that we can pass on to the AX32 client so that it knows which form to open. I have already created that form here, which I will show you in a minute. So let's open a Notepad session and open up the file that I have already created. So I've created an XML file called launchclient.xml. This is a very simple XML file. All it says is I want to call the auto run functionality, and I want you to run an action menu item with the name launch batch form. So I'm going to save this off. And now all we need to do is create a task to launch AX32 with this XML file as the startup command. So let me show you the steps for how to accomplish this. To create a task, the first step is to click on the authoring pane, select tasks, and create a new task for the AX32 command line. So I'm going to click the create new task button. There are two kinds of tasks, ones that run on the agent machines and ones that run on the console. In this case, we want to launch the AX32 client on the console machine. So I'm going to select console tasks and pick the command line. Again, don't forget to change the management pack destination. Click next. The task name is view batch jobs. Let's change that to view all batch jobs because we're trying to open this form from within the AX32 client. Launch AX32 client in the context of the batch jobs form. Okay. As you can see, the task target is currently marked as agent, but since you want to have this task show up on the batch framework state view, you will need to change this. So I'm going to go to this window and make sure I select the ones for the batch framework. So I'm going to select the target to be the AX2012 batch framework. The application that I want to run is AX32. The parameters must consist of the startup command line that we want to pass to the AX32 client. The AX32 client supports a startup command parameter to which you can pass in the XML that you created in the earlier step. So now that we've given it this startup command, we're pretty much done. You will notice a checkbox here that says display output when this task is run. This checkbox is required when you're running any command line or any programs which will return some output, like a PowerShell commandlet or a batch program. In the case of the AX32 client, there is no output being returned, so you can unselect this checkbox. And we're done. So let's click the Create button, and our task has now been created. Let's now switch over back to the monitoring console. And you can see a new task has now been created. So I'm going to click on it. And as soon as I click on it, the AX32 client is now being launched. So now I've gone through a very few simple clicks, and it's now possible for me to launch a program of my choice from within the context of the System Center console. You have now seen how easy it is to customize the monitoring pack to suit your business needs. There is a wealth of information out there for you to learn more. The user guide for the AX 2012 monitoring pack is a good place to start and understand the monitoring pack functionality. And there is a lot of documentation on the System Center site that will help you understand other options to customize the monitoring pack. This concludes this video. Thanks for watching.